Hey, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Mission Driven Life podcast. My name is Kevin Padillo, president of Warrior Leadership. Hey, and I'm excited to share this topic with you today, and this is a really interesting topic, and you might find some interesting things here. I'm streaming live on two places here. So I'm streaming live on the Young Leaders and Innovators, and I'm streaming live here on my Facebook profile here. That's where I'm streaming live from. So, hey, what's happening, everyone? Hey, if you're watching here on my feeds, thank you for joining, because I want to talk to you today about smoking marijuana and entrepreneurship. Right? That's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about smoking weed and also using it in business. All right? Because maybe this is an interesting topic that I've found that I know has been a huge problem for a lot of people. But it can be a huge gift, right? And I want to talk to you about a couple things of what I've learned from smoking weed and using marijuana, because I use it. And hey, if you're watching this, tune in. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Radio Public, Overcast, and you can find our videos on YouTube, all right? So you can find some of our videos on YouTube. And I'm excited to share this message with you here, all right? And look, if you're following the Warrior Leadership Movement and maybe you don't know who I am, maybe you're watching the video right now and you don't know who I am, who you're talking to, and who you are, I'm about to tell you, all right? So hey, well, this is Kevin with the Mission Driven Life podcast. Thank you for watching. Today, my name is Kevin Padillo. I'm the president of Warrior Leadership and the host of the Mission Driven Life podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about something really interesting, all right? And it's about smoking weed. Smoking weed, entrepreneurship, and business. And if you're watching the replay and you really want to listen to this in your car, you can, and you can tune into our podcast. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. We're all over. And this is a very interesting topic because I know a lot of people, especially in Canada, where this really happens. Because I know in Canada, marijuana is free. It's free to smoke weed. It's free. It's legal. It's legal to smoke weed here in Canada, right? You won't get in trouble to smoke it if you're in Calgary. You can smoke it in the street and no one will get in trouble. But what the interesting thing I want to talk to you about is connecting business and this thing, right? This thing. Connecting the two. What do you mean? I'm recording. I'll do when I'm done. And now, this is what I wanted to talk to you about today, right? This is what I want to talk to you about today, because I know for myself, and I know a lot of people that have done this, that are doing it, and are still doing it, right? I find a lot of entrepreneurs in my city, they do the same thing. They do the same thing of we smoke weed, and we just smoke a joint, we smoke a bowl, and we do it. And some people, we like to use it, right? Some people need it because of physical, some people need it because of to help their body. Some people use it because they want to be creative and motivated, right? Now I want to share with you some benefits of using marijuana. And then I'll talk to you about the impact and whether you should use it or not. And you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with the mission-driven life, right? What the heck does this have to do with it? Because, this has to do with it because, on my journey, I know in my journey, and I know a lot of young entrepreneurs' journey is that they go through the same thing, right? Some of the people, the really creative people that I know, they smoke weed and they use drugs for them to open their mind, right? And that helps them on their journey. For some people, it can be a tool. For some people, it can be a bad way. But what's really interesting about this, I want to talk to you just benefits of it, and then the impact and what I've learned, right? Because I've started doing this when I was a little kid. I started doing this, and as a young kid, and I do not condone doing drugs at all. I don't. And I'm personally working on stopping and quitting smoking weed. I'm working on that. It's one of the biggest challenges in my life. I'll own it. That I'm working on cutting out marijuana from my life. And it's not easy. It's kind of hard. It's really hard to do. But these are some things that I try to use, right? A part of my life, sometimes I tell myself I need it as a tool, but it's just an excuse. Because I know, like, I get creative when I smoke weed. You know, I get creative. And maybe you feel creative as well. If you're an artist and maybe you're a salesperson, maybe you feel creative when you use marijuana, right? You can use marijuana, you can be creative. And it helps open the mind. I know when I use it, I have a great imagination. I can think about so many things. It could, right? It could help some of you creative types if you're in marketing and business. You know, it helps me become more open-minded. Like I'm more open to the world. I'm more spiritual when I smoke marijuana, when I'm smoking a joint with friends and I'm puffing. You know, I've had some really good conversations, right, with people that are tokers. I've had some really great conversations. I've done some business with people, but I don't think they were really serious deals, right? And I've really had some great spiritual moments with people, like when I'm smoking weed, I'm smoking a joint. You know, there's times where I've felt just really spiritual, right? I remember times when I would, when you know, a couple friends and we'd go down to the river and we'd go smoke a joint and we'd just meditate and be, right? Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll go spend some time and I'll go blaze it, I'll smoke a joint and I'll go chill. And it helps give me focus, right? And it really helps give me focus. These are the kind of benefits that I face. Maybe if you can relate, you know, if you can relate with some of these benefits, let me know, because I know there's some entrepreneurs in my community right now who are watching the video that I can agree that, look, yes, I agree. I'm the person that does this, because I'll raise my hand. I only do it once a week. And I'll be honest, I'm making a huge goal of cutting it out of my life, right? Because I don't really want to use marijuana all my life. I don't really want to use it. And sometimes I think I'm using it as a crutch, right? To hide from something and to run from something and not to face my problems head on, so I use drugs to stay away from it. And that's not healthy for me. It's not healthy, and I'm working on fixing that and changing that. And with a lot of frustration in my life, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Oh man, like this is so tough for me to quit. I was so challenged and tempted, but I'm determined to. And it takes patience, right? But it also takes the time for me to decide. And maybe you're watching, what do you guys think? Like, let me know what you guys think about this. You know, if you're watching the video, I have friends here that are tuning in, listening in, into the live video. We're live on the Calgary, Canada's Young Leaders and Innovators. And we're live on my Facebook feed as well, in my personal feed. Let me know what you think about what you should think about you smoking weed and entrepreneurship. Do you think it mixes? Do you think that's a good way or not? Me, I'm split. I thought marijuana was really healthy for me. You know, in the beginning, I really loved it. I thought I was just so like floating. I was very creative. I was very open-minded, right? And it helped give me focus. I would focus so much. I would be so motivated. I know when I smoke weed, I get motivated. I smoke a joint and I'm so motivated to go out there and go hit the gym, right? Or to go out there and read a book, or to go out there and do something for the first 20 minutes. And then 30 minutes later, I'm tired, right? So that's what the benefits I find. What do you guys think, right? Like, what do you guys think? Because maybe it helps you. Maybe if you're a business owner, it works, right? And I know Billy Joe, he says if you smoke in moderation, it's not a problem, right? I get that. And I think you're right, Billy. You know, and I think, you know, having moderation is totally okay. But I know for some reason, I know this whole moderation thing that people always talk about. It can be an excuse for me to do it. Oh, I'm just gonna be moderate, right? Because it's gonna be a moderate for me to jump back into it. Because I've tried months without any marijuana. You know, I've done months on end without it, right? Without touching it, without using it. And I know for myself, when I'm doing business with people, let's say if I'm promoting something, if I'm selling something, selling a product, and I've done it when I've smoked a joint and I was doing door-to-door sales or car sales, right? And I've done it, and I've experienced what it's like. And I realized, when I'm doing business with someone, when I'm negotiating with someone and I'm high, it's not healthy for me. I wasn't good. My mind wasn't even there. I was like all over the place. I felt good in my body, but my mind felt off, right? So I know in business, like when I'm negotiating a deal or selling something or pitching or closing a product, I know if I'm distracted and I'm not fully there, it can hurt the relationship. I've tried to lead my team when I was like this. And I think I've lost respect from people, right? When I'm leading my team and I'm trying to take command and I'm working with my team, it can hurt if I'm not focused. Another thing that really hurt was impact is like I started losing my memory, right? Being a guy who smoked a lot of weed in my life, I felt like I've lost memory, I've forgotten people's names, I've forgotten people's things, I've forgotten, things that important facts, right? Someone I was telling me their name the other day, like, where I was at a social event yesterday. I was socializing with some people, and we smoked up, and I met these girls, and they were really good looking, and I was gonna say hi to them and shake their hand, and I shake their hand. They said their name, but then I totally forgot. I totally forgot what their names were. And I felt like this whole night, I was like, it was last night, I was like nervous. I was like, hey, what are their names again? What are their names? I was thinking, what the hell are their names? And I was so shy. Which is another thing that ties into the impact of using drugs when I'm in business, right? Which is like social anxiety. Social anxiety, that's what I get. The impact on me. I get super nervous when I'm socializing with people. If you can relate. Yeah, straight up. Like, so I get social anxiety. I get nervous. And it's not good for me, right? Like, I get really insecure when I'm in that space. As much as I tell myself I want to feel good, I realize that, like, I get nervous, right? And I know in the comments here, people are dropping their comments right now, telling me what they think. And look, any word is open. Anyone can say whatever they want and have their own opinion. Because I'm looking at some of the comments here that people are saying, oh, look, it's harmful, period. And I agree. Because anything you put inside your body, it's a temple. Even smoke, right? So that's one of the reasons why I've wanted to cut back. I used to be under this whole thing thinking that marijuana is going to help me. Weed is going to help me. I used to always think all of this is going to help me in my journey. It's going to help my business. But I was actually wrong, right? As time would tell, as every day passed, I know when there's times when I would use, and then the next day I'd feel like garbage, right? If you know what I'm saying, I'd feel like garbage. I'd feel tired. I would feel nauseated. I would feel confused. I wouldn't be in a good state. Like even right now I'm feeling out of it. I don't even feel motivated because it was the day after. Yesterday, I used with a friend, but then today I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling my strong self, right? So I realized I need to make a choice. I started using when I was a little kid, 14, but as I grew older, I'm starting to realize what it means to my body, right? And I'm starting to realize what it means to my mind and my thinking. Because as much as I want to have fun, I realize, my body's a temple. And maybe you think the same way, right? Maybe you're watching the video and you think the same way, that you don't support drugs at all. Maybe for some people, they use it as a tool. But for me, I know it's like the verdict is that marijuana wasn't a good tool for me. It has actually hurt me more than I did. And so one of the things I'm doing lately is just to cut back, right? To cut back and to not at all. So this week, it's like only one time this week. right? It's only one time. I'm only allowed to do it this week. And then next week is one time. And then I'm going to progress to a point where it's every 2 weeks. And that's one of my goals that I'm working towards. And I know I'm not going to be perfect, right? I know I'm not going to be perfect. And I know some people use it. That just means I just gotta watch who I'm hanging with, right? If I want to, like when I commit myself to not using drugs, if you're thinking about stop using any drugs, or maybe you want to stop smoking, or maybe you want to stop eating junk food, the smartest thing to do is to stop hanging out with people that eat junk food. That's one of the smartest things. You know, if I want to stop drinking chocolate milk, I better stop going to the store and buying chocolate milk. And I need to stop hanging out with people that drink chocolate milk, right? So I don't know, what is your journey? Because I know there's probably a lot of mixed emotions with this. I have tons of friends, especially in the music industry, that use marijuana for their everyday life. Maybe they use it to relax. Maybe they use it to get focused. Maybe they use it to get creative. In my honest opinion, I don't think you need any of it to be focused. I don't think you need any of that to be healthy. All it takes for you and for me, is to be committed to stopping it. So put in the comments there, especially the people in the Young Leaders and Innovators group. Let me know your thoughts, right? Let me know what you're thinking, because a lot of people are giving me some mixed emotions, right? People are saying moderation. People are saying do it. Some people are saying I don't care. I know for me, my goal is to be completely free from all that. Completely free, to let go of all of any drugs and alcohol, because I know I bring my best self when I'm sober. No, I bring my best leadership self is when I'm sober. I bring my best self when I'm me, right? I bring my best self when I'm normal, when I'm not high or when I'm not drunk. I bring my best self when that all happens, right? And I need to bring my best self all the time, because when I'm not bringing my best self, that's when I'm lacking. That's when I'm not living my mission. And Kian's here says responsible smoking, moderation in all things. All you guys with the moderation, hey? All you guys talking about moderation. So that's really interesting. So hey, thanks for tuning in today, because that's been one of my journeys, and it's been really frustrating. I'm working on cutting back. I'm quitting marijuana, and it's one thing that's been really tough for me, but I'm working on it every day. Some days I would break my own commitments, right? I'd make a commitment to myself, and then I'd break it. I'd make a promise to myself, and then I'd break it. And it would be so disappointing in me, because I want to hold myself to a standard. And maybe you can relate, and maybe you hold yourself to a standard too, of you set a goal for yourself, but you don't keep it. And that's why it's so important to have people that hold you accountable. And I know this whole word called accountability has been thrown around everywhere. They're in every group, and every coach says accountability. But the best accountability is when you can hold yourself accountable to not use drugs, or to not use that drink, or to not smoke that cigarette, right? So that's what I'm thinking about. If you're watching the video here, drop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts are, all right? Let me know what you think. Whether you agree that yes, marijuana, yes, or down, marijuana, no. All right, let me know in the comments what you think. If you think marijuana, yes, marijuana, no. It's legal here in Canada. And as much as it's legal, I know for me, deep down in my heart, even though it's so easy for me to get, doesn't mean I should do it, right? So I don't know. Drop your thoughts. I want to thank you all for watching the video. This is Kevin with Warrior Leadership. And the whole intention of this is because bringing our best selves, right? Let's start bringing our best selves out. And whether you find your best self in marijuana, maybe you find your best self when you're smoking a joint and you're high. Whether that is for you, great. I support you in whatever you bring your best self. But I want to challenge you to let go of using it and what it means for your life, right? Because I'm working on that myself, and I don't want to do things on my own. So this is Kevin with the Mission Driven Life podcast. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts about what I was talking about here, right? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. Because whether you agree, that's all good. You're entitled to our own opinions. And I used to think it helped my mission. I used to always think it was so great. It helped my mission so much. But then I started realizing how much it hurt me, right? So this is Kevin with the Mission Driven Life podcast. Thank you for watching. I talked to you about the benefits and then the impact. And I told you about my challenge of letting it all go. So this is Kevin with the Mission Driven Life podcast. Thank you for watching. We're on Spotify, Breaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast. Let me know your thoughts, because we all have our own opinions on this, and people are probably spit. Hope you took some. I hope you took some value from it. I hope this opened your mind a little bit on how this thing called weed can either hurt you or help you. Who knows? Hope you have a powerful day. Follow us at warriorleadership.ca, at the Mission Driven Life. This is episode 42. Have a powerful day. Bye.